Okay, so today's video is going to be a little different than normal. I haven't really found that many things out herping other than the common red-backed salamanders, so because that's all I found in a bunch of my herping times, I'm just going to talk about that. I found a few interesting facts, I've done my research, and here's Beardy, and I'll start talking about the red-backed salamander. So, the red-backed salamander, also known as Plethrodon cinereus, is a small to medium species of salamander that inhabits, from what I found actually, almost every habitat in New Jersey except for very acidic soils, which is due to their skin and they can't handle high acidity, all of that stuff. Because they are a species of lungless salamander, so that means they don't have lungs. They need to stay moist and wet if they want to breathe. So you'll find them under damp, moist logs, some damp rocks, all that. They don't need to be found near a body of water though. So the red-backed salamander needs to be wet and moist, but it doesn't need to be found near a body of water. Unlike most amphibians, these guys don't have an aquatic larval state. So what that means is, after the males and the females mate, the females will go lay her eggs. She'll protect them for a few months and make sure that they're safe. And then they'll hatch into little baby red-backed salamanders, which are very cute. And up here, I have a lead morph of, I don't own it, I found it, of a baby red-backed salamander. Very cute. Anyways, so now that I started talking about the morphs, I'll go into more of that. So, there are two main types of morph, the red-back and the lead-back. Now these salamanders are both the same species, so don't get that wrong. A morph is just a color that can be found in certain areas. So they have the red-back and the lead-back. Here's the red-back. I'll let you guys look at that. And then, switch the photo, here's the lead-back. So, they are the same species, but they look very different. So now let's dive a little deeper into the red-back. So this guy has a mainly red, usually will have a red stripe going down the back with a black body and white dots around it and a kind of a lighter underbelly, but it's not always red. In this morph, there are also submorphs, kinda, so it could be more of an orangey, more of a yellow. It could even be, they've even found them with white. I've never found a white one. Barely stay here. I would love to find a white one, but, and then there are some that are all red, so I'll go get him. And then when I'm back, we'll start talking more about the lead-back phase. So, the lead-back phase. This is a mostly all-black salamander. It'll have like a black or grayish color all throughout its body, and it'll have little white specks through it. So this is the lead-back morph, and it isn't that different, but it doesn't have the red. But what is different is how it reacts when a log that it's hiding under is flipped over. They have done studies and they found that, by the way, I'll leave all links of where I researched this down in the description below, so if you want to learn more, check that out. Anyways, so the lead-back phase is more likely to run when the log is flipped over. I've also noticed this whenever I flip a log. The darker lead-backs are more likely to run than the red-backs. But that's because of this. The red-back is usually a sign that an animal is poisonous or dangerous in some sort of way, so the predators will avoid it. And the red-backs have that red back, and they think that, oh, the predator won't eat me. It thinks I'm dangerous. But the lead-backs don't have that protection. They have to run away and hide so that they don't get eaten. So that's the main. And then they've done studies and they found that the stress level in lead-backs is a lot higher. But other than that, the two morphs are very, very similar. They don't have any other changes in behavior. They intermate, and they're pretty much the same species, just a different color. So now I find these guys all over New Jersey, except in the winter. During the winter, they'll dig down into the dirt below the freezing zone, which, if I remember correctly, in New Jersey is about 3 or 4 inches. Don't take my word for that. Please research that. But below that layer, the ground doesn't freeze. It gets cold, but it doesn't freeze. So the salamanders are safe to stay there. And then I also want to dive into what they eat. So I've never kept one in captivity, and they're really not the best pets to keep in captivity. They're very shy, they'll be hiding most of the time, and they're not very active. But what they do eat out in the wild would be small invertebrates, small vertebrates, small insects. Not really vertebrates, because there aren't that many that small, but a bunch of small insects like mites, a little bit of probably some juvenile isopods, all that. Definitely some small spiders, but and then if you do decide to keep these guys in captivity, which I do not recommend, but if you do have one like it was born, all of that, however you got it, they do accept small crickets. But I also want to say one more interesting fact before I leave you guys on this. I'll show a picture right here, and you see this salamander? You see how its tail is a little bit shorter? These salamanders are very similar to lizards in the way that they can lose their tails. So in the case of a predator chasing down and trying to grab it, if it grabs the tail will plop off. And the predator will be able to eat that tail while the salamander can scurry off and find itself another log or another rock. Now this is a very good evolutionary trait, which is found mostly in lizards, but this salamander also has it. And once a salamander loses its tail, it will regrow, and it often happens, but here's another picture of a little stub tail. And so that's really the most interesting facts about the red-backed salamander. So now, before I leave you guys, if you see outside, which you can't really, but anyway, right today it is Thursday, March 26th. The weather today is 54 right now, high of 57, and it's slowly starting to warm up. So as it's getting warmer, I'm gonna be hopefully going out herping a lot more, and because with this whole thing that's going on right now, which I'm not gonna talk about it because I'm a YouTuber, but our state hasn't been shut down yet. Jersey, of course, Jersey Harper. Anyway, so I'm still going out and hiking, and I will hopefully be doing this throughout. So I'll bring you guys along, and next time I go herping, which will most likely be today, because 54 is pretty nice weather. So if I find anything, I'll definitely bring you guys along and show you. But thanks for watching, and see you guys on the next video. Adios.